Hello, I'm Lee Gu, and you're watching me talk about status updates on my latest works. At first I wondered if there were any people still following me after 2 years of publishing nothing. But then I looked at at the hits on my webpage, my homepage, and it showed that I got about 5 people per day, 5 individual hits, 5 IP addresses, I mean. So I'm guessing that I have a minor group of people who are interested in what I have to produce in the future. So the topic of this video is simply about how far I'm in on my latest works in progress. First of all, let's talk about sequels. As of right now, I have not written a word on Warlord's Invasion 2. And the reason I haven't written anything is because I delayed and kept finding reasons for delaying it, such as working on a different novel. And I've done it so much that by now I don't even think there's a big audience for Warlord's Invasion 2, and thus there's no market for it. I'm pretty sure most people have forgotten about it after 2 years. So that's the first reason. And the second reason, and you can tell I'm just reading from a script. The second reason is uh, the second reason I don't want to write a sequel to Warlord's Invasion 1 is that I don't think the sequel and thus the resolution to the main problem in Warlord's Invasion 1, I don't think the sequel that has that, I don't think it's going to be any good. What I thought was a terrific ending while I was writing Warlord's Invasion 1, well, after reading books about the subject, I've come to the conclusion that the ending to the main problem, which would have been featured in Warlord's Invasion 2, is actually terrible. So, until I find a better ending, that's another reason why I don't want to write the sequel. And pretty much the same could be said about Stars at War 2. I just don't think there's enough of a market for the sequel of Stars at War 1 for it to be profitable for me to write it. I think most people have forgotten about Stars at War 1 after 3 years. So I know I should have started written on it immediately, but I delayed to pursue other projects. So now too much time has passed for a big enough audience to exist so that it would be profitable for me to write it. So, so what have I been working on now that I haven't been working on Warlord's Invasion 2 or Stars at War 2? Well, not a lot. I've been mostly encountering writer's block, but I have made some progress on some works in progress. I've written something even while I was burdened by writer's block. So what have I written? Well, there's 3 novels actually. Each is about 70% done. The first one is called Attack on Antares, which is about a human space fleet's last-ditch effort to win an intergalactic multi-species war by striking an enemy base at the star called Antares. That's 70% done. Then there's another novel called of the Dark Mage. War of the Dark Mage. This novel is about a war between humans and ogres set in a Middle Earth setting. So it's pretty much like Tolkien, except it's really focused on some battles and stuff. It has elves and dwarves and swords and magic and stuff like that. There's a lot of battles, and mostly about people commanding the battles and the people commanding the magical armies. And that's the second novel that is 70% done. Lastly, the last novel that is 70% done, and which is actually my current work in progress, is called Battle of Soul. This is a rewrite of a much older short story that I wrote in 2010, also called Battle of Soul. It's mostly about, no, it's not mostly, it's about an intergalactic war between a star nation controlled by humans in an alien star nation controlled by bipedal reptilians. The novel takes place in the final phases of this war, where the human fleet is exhausted, much like Attack on Antares, my first novel, the first novel I introduced. Except this time, the humans must defend Earth and Alpha Centauri from an alien attack. It's a lot like David Weber's Starfire novels, where there's a lot of fighting in warp points, fighting in trying to fight for a system like that by going through a warp point. Except in my novel, it doesn't have warp points; it has wormholes. um, and it's a lot like David Weber's novels in terms of combat mechanics. Except my novel is very focused on one battle. The whole novel is about two battles at the near end of this war between the two species. So I've got about so I've got 370% done novels. Why do I keep stopping writing at 70%? I don't know exactly, but I think it's because once I reach a point where I have it all planned out and know how to end it, usually around the 70% mark, I just lose interest in it. So anyway, my current plan is to finish all three of these 70% completed novels. And that completes all my status updates. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope the next time I update, I will be able to report a lot more progress in my work in progress, my WIP. Goodbye, and thanks for watching.